What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Down Once More. Matt here. I know you're probably disappointed, but I'm coming at you with another solo episode this week. It's the last Wednesday in September, so we're going to do an October movie, TV series, streaming, and theater roundup for you. You do a new segment, Matt's playlist. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then a peek of what's coming up, because there hasn't been a ton of musical content, even though we talked about Wicked some this month, and I get it. We've been lacking on musical reviews. That was the main premise of this podcast after all. But coming in October, Brad is going to be coming back, and we are going to be doing a review of Hairspray, the musical. And then Rayleigh and I are going to be doing a review of Across the Universe coming up. And then we're going to do another random episode with Rayleigh and I. And then potentially an extra, because we are in October, the month of Halloween, possibly a Rocky Horror Picture Show episode, TBD on that one. But Hairspray, Across the Universe, definitely coming up. I'm also going to be doing my review of Dear Evan Hansen. I am seeing that on this Sunday, so I will be seeing that on the National Broadway Tour and giving a review of that. And then October 10th, I'm actually seeing the Back to the Future musical, so I'll be doing a review of that on here. So we are going to be very musical heavy in the month of October, so make up for kind of slacking on the last few months for you. But to kick it off, we'll go music focused and the new segment, Matt's playlist. So music is something that is very near and dear to me. I constantly am going through new playlists, finding songs I like throwing on there. It's been a lot of musical theater heavy lately. I've talked in the past about Justice for Tulsa from The Outsiders, how that one just really grabbed me and has made it into my playlist. Same with Past is Catching Up to Me from The Great Gatsby, sung by Jeremy Jordan, just fantastic. And when I discovered it, it just burrowed into my ears and I needed to hear it more and more and on a loop. So I've got a couple new ones for you, and this one I'm going zero musical theater. So a few recommendations for you here. All Time Low, who has been one of my favorite bands since like high school. Like that vibe when I first started trying to teach myself to play the guitar. Lost in Stereo and Remembering Sunday were two of the first songs I taught myself because they were relatively easy to play, and I just loved those songs. All Time Low has been one of the best concerts I've gone to. I was able to see them in a smaller venue. So much energy, so fun, so good live, so entertaining. They put out a new song called Hate This Song with I Prevail, which is a little bit of an unusual mashup for them, but I love this song. It is, in my opinion, it's one of their best songs they've put out in a while. I've liked their newer albums, but nothing really has grabbed me as much as their some of their original albums. But this song is on heavy rotation for me since it released, I think, just last Friday. Also, the other recommendation I'm going to give is Chase Rice released a new album, Go Down Singin', which I wasn't really tracking that this album was coming. Chase Rice is one of the kind of more modern country artists that I followed for a while and really enjoyed. I saw him live, and his live performance, it's not necessarily his thing. He wasn't super energetic, but he sounded great live. And I just really like the vibe that he's gone with on his last two albums. So his last album, kind of an ode to his dad, was called I Hate Cowboys and All Dogs Go to Hell. His dad was on the cover of it. This album called Go Down Singin', it's him almost mirroring his dad's pose and look on the previous album cover. And both of these albums have felt a lot more kind of classic country, if that makes sense. Not as much bro country as a lot of his previous albums and songs were. And I just started listening to this album and have it on a loop, and I'm really liking it, especially Hey God, It's Me Again and Numbers really just jump out to me from those albums. So a little bit of variety there on the music. We got some pop punk with All Time Low and got some country with Chase Rice. So there's a little mix for you. And as I mentioned before, musical ones I go back to, Past is Catching Up to Me from Great Gatsby, sung by Jeremy Jordan. And also another pop punk one by After Arizona, San Diego. I mentioned that on here before as well. So good. Another one that's just on constant rotation for me. So there's your fun musical recommendation segment, what I'm listening to lately. And now let's get into some October kind of your movie and TV roundup. We'll start off with what's coming to theaters this month. So October 4th, we're actually getting a kind of musical movie and the second Joker movie, Joker Folie à Deux. And I run that together because I do not know how to properly pronounce it in French. But starring Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga, Todd Phillips' sequel to his Joker movie that was well reviewed, awarded, well regarded for just being a very unique take and a dark look at the character of the Joker. Now, depends on which camp you're in. If you're a really hardcore comic book fan, then you may not have liked it as much because it doesn't feel like a Joker movie. It's more of a dark drama, and we slap the Joker tag on it. He doesn't really share much in common with the comic book or even the previous movie iterations of the Joker, which I respect and I appreciate different takes on the character. But this one, supposedly a musical, but then they're trying to say it's not a musical, but music is the main backdrop and helps give the characters motivations throughout it. So we'll see. Joaquin Phoenix, like I said, reprising his role as the Joker, Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn, or I think they're going with her full doctor name, Dr. Harleen Quinzel, in it. And so that'll be interesting. That's coming in theaters October 4th. Early reviews of it are not great. So it will be interesting to see what the general public thinks of it. I am excited about it. This isn't a night one view for me. A lot of the comic book movies specifically, I enjoy them. They've fallen off a little bit. I like turning my brain off. I like seeing the action. They're still fun for the most part. I like to go out and see them when I can before spoilers. I don't get the feeling like this is one that there are going to be any grand moments that I have to worry about getting spoiled for me. It's, like I said, the original one, it was a very well crafted and interesting story, but it was a drama. And that's what I think this will be too. So I'm intrigued by it. I've seen it described as a courtroom drama, so we will see. I'm interested to see it, but that comes out October 4th. Next kind of high profile one coming out on October 18th is Smile 2. I haven't seen the original Smile. It's on my list to watch. I like to watch some kind of horror scary movies in the month of October just to get in the spirit of Halloween. So I plan on watching the original Smile this month. I heard good things about it, but the sequel to that comes out October 18th, and it looks to be another interesting and kind of little trippy, kind of scary horror movie. But the one that I am intrigued most, not because I think it will be good, but because I think it is going to be a wild movie and just completely batshit based on the trailers, is Venom: The Last Dance. So October 25th, the final movie in the Venom trilogy with Tom Hardy comes out in theaters. We still do not have a rating announced for this movie. At one time they were talking about that it was finally we're going to get an R-rated Venom movie. But then new rumors and reports suggest that Sony is still going for a PG-13 one so they can try to appeal to as many audiences. I don't know. We're getting pretty fucking close to release to not know what this is going to be rated and not have a final cut for the film. Tom Hardy posted on Instagram like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago that they were doing a few last minute reshoots. So we'll see. This movie looks like it's going to be wild. From the trailers, they're bringing in things from Venom and the symbiote's home planet, with their God, their ruler Null, and rumors are Norman Reedus is playing that character, but it is a wild character and storyline to be bringing into the third movie in the franchise. Then more rumors have popped up that that's going to be for a Spider-Man 4, starring, why am I blinking his name? Kid playing Spider. Wow, why am I in Tom? No, it's not Tom. Tom Hardy is playing Venom, and Zendaya's boyfriend, Tom Holland. It is Tom. I don't know why. My brain has been gone the past few episodes, if you haven't noticed. Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4, now they're making rumors that they're going to try to tie it together and they're going to have it be another multiverse one. I hope not, but we'll see. I was really hoping with the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm blanking on this. The Spider-Man stuff is rough tonight for me. At the ending of No Way Home, that we were going to get a more grounded Spider-Man movie, kind of like a more small scale, not as big, dealing with these giant multiverse things, giant villains coming in, team up movies. Maybe get more of a solo, just intimate Spider-Man story with Spider-Man 4. And so I was kind of hoping for that and not a big, all the bells and whistles movie with all the characters in it, multiverse one, but we'll see. But I'm intrigued. I will be seeing Venom: The Last Dance, probably not the night it comes out, but the Tuesday afterwards, because that's when cheap tickets are. And I think this movie is not going to be good, but I feel like it is going to have some fun action and be an interesting ride. I did not like Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. I felt like it was a mess and they didn't really know what to do with Carnage. They did not make that character as interesting or as wild and crazy as it could have been and should have been for the story. And they are really just embracing the comedy with Venom, which is an interesting choice to do. But that's what they've been doing this entire trilogy. It's basically a comedy with some action instead of a horror or thriller or body horror movie with Venom. So it'll be interesting to see. So those are kind of the three main ones that stood out to me that are coming to theaters in October. Let's jump over to Max or HBO. What's kind of coming to that streaming movie and TV wise in October. So the Penguin series premiered this past week. The first episode of Colin Farrell, the spinoff of Matt Reeves, the Batman. I've seen mixed reviews on it. I think right now on IMDb, it's sitting at like 8.6, 8.8. And then, so that is continuing. We're going to weekly episodes on that. And so I need to get watch that. I'm really intrigued. I love the Batman. I thought Matt Reeves did a fantastic job. Robert Pattinson did a fantastic job. Colin Farrell was almost unrecognizable as the Penguin and did a great job in that movie. So I'm excited to see more of that character. Here's my potentially hot take, but I don't think it's that hot because I think a lot of people share it, is that the Batman, Matt Reeves' The Batman, is actually probably my favorite Batman movie. I thought it was so well done and I loved it. So I need to get a rewatch of that in soon too. But on the streaming side of things, on Jesus Christ, on Max. So coming out, 21 and 22 Jump Street, the movie with Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill, are coming out on October 1st. I love these movies. I think they are fantastic comedies, some of the better ones that we've gotten in the past 10 years or so. A lot of fun. Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill have fantastic comedic timing together. Ice Cube is fantastic in them. It's really a lot of fun. And so if you haven't seen those, what are you doing? You got to get after that. Those are fantastic. And I'm glad that they are finally, well, not finally, they've been on streaming on a while, but I'm glad that they're back on streaming on Max. So October 1st, you can check those out. You can also check, in the spirit of October and Halloween coming up, the original 5 Nightmare on Elm Street movies are coming out there. After the first Nightmare on Elm Street, yeah, they kind of jump the shark a little bit and get a little wild, but they're still entertaining horror movies. But nothing really beats that original. So those are coming out. Also, the remakes of It, the adaptation of Stephen King's novel, parts 1 and 2 are out on Max on October 1st as well. I really enjoyed these movies. I thought they were really well done horror movies. And as far as kid protagonists, are hit or miss for me, but the storyline throughout this and the child actors they have in this are really good, and I really enjoyed it. Also in the horror vein, The Conjuring 1 and 2 are coming to Max on October 1st, and those are the best ones in the series. It kind of goes downhill after that. The first Conjuring I thought was fantastic. 2 was also really intriguing. It didn't grab me as much as the first one, but I thought it was also really good. So in the spirit of Halloween, get your horror on. Lots of horror coming out to streaming this month. Staying in the horror vein, On October 3rd, a Max original movie, the adaptation of Stephen King's book Salem's Lot, is coming to Max. So I never read the story. I never watched the original movie, but this looks intriguing. The Max original movies have been hit or miss, but this one I think looks solid, at least like a good kind of popcorn horror movie, if that makes sense. Not like super intense. Casual horror fans can enjoy it too. That comes out October 3rd. And then on October 6th, the new series premiere called The Franchise is coming out. And it's a comedy about a team that is kind of stuck making franchise superhero movies. So it stars some people who have been prominent in superhero franchises. So Aya Cash from The Boys, and you had in there who played Stormfront, and then Daniel Bruhl, who played Baron Zemo in Civil War, and the Falcon and Winter Soldier is in this as well. So it looks interesting. It looks funny. I'm excited to check this out and see what it is. HBO usually has some fantastic series. Yeah, there's a few duds thrown in there, but usually they have a pretty solid vetting process. And if they're putting it out, it's usually pretty good. So I'm excited to check this out. I love Aya Cash. You're the Worst is one of the most underrated shows ever on FX. Highly recommend it. If you haven't checked it out, it's on Hulu. Watch it. It's really funny and then kind of dramatic and dark and depressing in the first season. And then it gets like really kind of heavy throughout it, but still just a fantastic comedy throughout, kind of dark comedy. Highly recommend You're the Worst. On October 10th, there is another new Max original movie called Caddo Lake with Dylan O'Brien. That's a horror thriller that I'm intrigued by. And then on October 18th, Maxine, the final movie in Ty West trilogy, comes out. So it started with X, and then it was followed up with Pearl, and then we're closing out the trilogy with Maxine. So that's coming to Max, so you can check that out. And then on the 25th is Trap, Josh Hartnett starring movie. I talked about it briefly on the podcast a few weeks ago. I thought this was a really fun movie. I'd highly recommend it, especially where it's coming out on Max. Like, I bought it on digital, and I didn't feel like it was a waste of my money. I really enjoyed it, and I'll probably revisit it, even though I know kind of the little bit of the twist going on with it. But that closes out kind of the main points coming to Max this coming up month. And I apologize. I'm itching my nose like a motherfucker. I am not doing cocaine. I just have insane allergies that are kicking my ass lately. So apologies for that if you're watching on YouTube. No white powder, just allergies. Okay, coming to Amazon Prime. On October 1st, the erotic tennis movie Challengers, starring Zendaya, Mike Faist of good old West Side Story fame, is coming out on October 1st to Prime. I was told I need to stop saying that this is an erotic tennis movie because that makes it sound weird. But it is. And I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed this movie. It's coming to Prime Video. If you haven't watched it, recommend you check it out. It's not nearly as erotic and wild as the trailers make it seem. I mean, kind of, but not completely. On October 3rd, Prime is also going in the kind of thriller horror route for this month on that same vein. House of Spoils stars Ariana DeBose. It is a thriller about an ambitious chef. So I'm intrigued by this. I enjoy chef movies and content. The Menu was one of my favorite movies of the past few years. I thought that was really well done. Ralph Fiennes, fantastic in it. So House of Spoils, I'm intrigued by this. And so that comes out October 3rd. Also on October 3rd, the Rings of Power Season 2 finale airs. I'm fairly far behind on Rings of Power. I've only watched the first 1.5 episodes, so I need to get caught up on that. But the finale is coming up quick. And then on October 17th, new Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage comedy called Brothers comes out. This movie looks interesting. I really enjoy Peter Dinklage. Tying it back to musicals, Peter Dinklage of Cyrano fame on Broadway and in the movie, which we have reviewed on here. Go check it out if you haven't already. But this movie intrigues me, and so that's coming out October 17th. And then on October 18th, the Australian series of The Office is coming out. And I don't know what to think about this. It looks different. I never fully watched the UK Office, the original Office. Very familiar with the American one, watched it many times, love it for what it is. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to give this show a shot. It's not I need to bump this up to the top of my watch list, but I will definitely be checking it out, and I'm intrigued by it. And then on October 24th, to close out what's coming to Prime, is Canary Black, which is a Kate Beckinsale starring action thriller. So I'm intrigued by this. We've got lots of thrillers, lots of action thrillers, comedies, a little bit of everything coming to Prime this month. They've got a pretty good dump coming to Prime. Poor phrasing. But they've got a lot coming out this month. There hasn't been much that on these recaps and kind of what's coming to movies and streaming. I haven't had many, but this month Prime intrigues me. Netflix now. On October 1st, season 1 of the Showtime series Yellow Jackets comes out. Season 1 of Yellow Jackets is one of the best original series seasons that I have seen in a long time. I'm saying things are best I've seen in a long time on here, but it was fantastic. I loved Yellow Jackets season 1. Season 2 lost a little bit of momentum for me, but season 1 just kept me locked in, and I loved it. So I'm excited more people will get the opportunity to see that now that season 1's coming to Netflix. So highly encourage you to check that out if you haven't already. On October 17th, there's a Japanese action thriller movie coming out, The Shadow Strays, which also looks very intriguing, and the action looks fantastic. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm excited to check that out. On October 18th, Anna Kendrick's directorial debut, which she also stars in, Woman of the Hour, comes out. It had a very tense trailer for it that didn't show too much, but it just had such a sense of dread with it. This is based on the true story from 1970s about Rodney Alcala, a murderer who appeared on The Dating Game and won. So this movie looks really good. I don't know much about the true story. I haven't researched it much. I don't think I'm going to before I watch the movie. But I love Anna Kendrick, almost everything she's in. Excited to see her directorial debut. So that's coming to Netflix on October 18th. Closing out what's coming to Netflix on October that intrigues me is Don't Move, which is a new horror thriller where a woman must escape a serial killer and she only has 20 minutes before she's fully paralyzed. Now, the description says that the movie's told in real time. It's an 85-minute movie, though, so there's also obviously going to be some lead up and then the end to after she's paralyzed, because otherwise we'd be having a short film. But it's 85 minutes. It sounds intriguing. The trailer has a lot of like dread and tense moments in it. So I'm really intrigued by that. Really excited for that movie to come out too. So a lot of good stuff coming to Netflix this month. And we'll close it out with Hulu and then Alona and Disney Plus. On October 1st, Barbarian is coming to Hulu. Barbarian was one of the most unexpected kind of horror thriller movies that I'm not going to say much about because I don't want to spoil it. And I think it's kind of better if you go into it not knowing much about it. But I really liked Barbarian. It was just weird enough and had just enough tense moments and was enough of a kind of horror thriller to me. It kept me locked in, and even after knowing some of the stuff, I've watched it multiple times and I would recommend it. Also on October 1st, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is coming to Hulu. I have never watched this movie, but tying it into musicals. I gotta tie everything into musicals at some point here. That's what the podcast is, right? It stars Benjamin Walker, who is from Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson. And I called that out when I mentioned that he is in Rings of Power as well. So, and then also Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl is coming to Hulu on October 1st. I love that movie so much. I feel like the sequels kind of lose it a little bit, but that is a near perfect movie for me. It's got comedy, action, pirates. I love pirate content in general. Black Sails, one of my favorite series of all time. That one is on Netflix still. I don't think it dropped off. That was a Starz series that was so good. If you have not watched it, you need to watch it. Starz has had some fantastic series on it with Heels, Black Sails. A couple of my favorite series ever have been on Starz. So check it out. And then Rocky Horror Picture Show comes to Hulu on October 1st. And then you have a new original horror movie for Halloween, they call it, for the month of Halloween. Hold Your Breath comes out October 3rd. There's also Mr. Crockett comes out October 11th, which is, from the description, it looks like it's a kids' TV host that ends up killing parents and bringing them in. So interesting premise there. That comes out October 11th for Halloween. And then on October 15th, American Horror Stories, the Halloween event comes out. So they've done this the past few years. They've done American Horror Stories, which are just kind of short episodes or anthology short stories throughout it. I haven't got that invested. I dropped off after season 4 of American Horror Story, the main one, and there's just so much media these days, ultimate first world problems, that I have to prioritize what to watch, and I cannot watch all this stuff coming out. I mean, even just the things I've been highlighting on this episode is more than I would ever have time to watch in the month of October. So those are coming out on October 15th. Also on October 15th, the French movies, The Three Musketeers, Part 1, D'Artagnan, and Part 2, Milady, comes out on October 15th. I was intrigued by these. I got very close to getting them on digital because I wanted to see them. It looks very well done. The Three Musketeers, I always enjoyed the older movie and the book and just the story of it. I talked about it on here when Brad and I did like a draft, that I felt like a Three Musketeers musical could have a lot of intrigue, drama, action, comedy. I thought that would be a really neat thing to do. But these movies are in French. It does star Eva Green, who is also fantastic. And so that's coming out. Both of those are coming out to Hulu on October 15th. On October 19th, last year's horror movie Late Night with the Devil is coming to Hulu for streaming. And so that one has David Esmalchian in it, and it is based on a true story as well, I believe. And that one has also been on my list. I haven't gotten around to watching. And so that's out October 19th. October 22nd, the final season premiere of What We Do in the Shadows debuts. And this makes me sad because I love this series so much. It is so well done. Matthew Berry is so good in it. The entire cast is fantastic. And so I'm bummed that the series is coming to an end. I think it's season 6 is what they're going with. I'm glad they're not dragging it out more than they need to, but damn, I love these characters so much. It's so intriguing. I feel like all the seasons have been fantastic. If you're not watching What We Do in the Shadows, you need to go get caught up before the final season premieres on the 22nd. And then the last note I have is Agatha All Along. The Marvel series on Disney Plus is continuing throughout this month. So they dropped the first 2 episodes about a week and a half ago. By the time this comes out, or maybe just a week ago, actually. They dropped the first 2 episodes and I watched them, and they were better than I was expecting. I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm going to give one minor spoiler, so skip it ahead if you don't want to hear that. But the first episode kind of follows the WandaVision formula, if you watch that, where it is set up as like a TV procedural drama, where the characters don't know who they are. They're playing different people. I was worried we were going to get that for multiple episodes. Thankfully, they pulled back the veil on that and had that wrap up like midway through the first episode. But Catherine Hahn is doing a lot with this character, and Catherine Hahn is a fantastic actress, but I don't know if I love how she plays the character of Agatha Harkness with it, but I'm intrigued by the story. Season 2 had some genuine like jump scare horror moments in it that were really well done. The production value looks fantastic on it, and Aubrey Plaza. I love Aubrey Plaza and almost everything she's in. So excited to see her in this, and excited to see where the story and where the season goes. It's darker than I was expecting, and so I'm really excited by that. So that is continuing on Disney Plus. But that is going to do it for this week's mini episode. Like I said, stay tuned. We got a lot of musical content, a lot of fun stuff coming up. We got Dear Evan Hansen review, Back to the Future musical review, and then for movie reviews, we got me and Brad for Hairspray, me and Rayleigh on Across the Universe, and then just some other good old-fashioned fun and shenanigans on an episode with Rayleigh and I as well. So thank you all for watching, listening, tuning in. Have a fantastic week. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff I ask you to do every week, and appreciate all you that do. I want to get to, I jinx it every time I say this, then we just stall or go backwards on followers and subscribers on YouTube. I really want to hit 100 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year. I think we can make that happen. We are at 79 right now. So share the podcast with someone. Sign up with your other email address. Almost everyone has more than one email address, right? Sign up with all of them. Subscribe with all of them. Go to YouTube. You just need a Gmail account for it. You can subscribe on YouTube. Do it. So thank you all. Have a fantastic end of your September, because we're closing it out. We still got a little bit of a week left, but I wanted to cheat and get this in here and give us time to get those musical episodes recorded. So then you'll get an onslaught of musical stuff in October, and you will be sick of me and everyone else, just like you're sick of just me this month. But thank you all. Don't forget to go down once more. Later.